at first getting stuck inside probably wasn't that big of a deal, right? Well, after a while, it does start to get to you. And I get what you mean, because I basically, like as an entrepreneur, I basically just have tons and tons of unstructured time where I have to build that into my day so that I don't go nuts. And now that you guys have gotten into this a little bit, like you realize it's not always easy as it seems, especially if you're a work from home person, you don't have anywhere to be, and all of a sudden, all of us are in this boat where we have nowhere to be for any particular reason, and we don't have to be there by when, and it's just a totally different lifestyle. So I'm going to I just put together a quick list of 7. I literally have hundreds of these that I use to keep myself focused, because I have a squirrel brain that just everywhere all the time. Like sometimes I was even thinking this morning, I was like it just is almost annoying how many ideas pop into my head. I mean, like I have to write it down as quick as I can, because it's almost like as soon as, like if I don't write it down fast enough, another idea pops in my head. So squirrel brain here. But these are some things that can help you out a lot if you implement them. And some of them are just will seem like almost obvious, because don't discount that your mind is more powerful than your biology. You're a human being. You're a biological like entity walking around. There are certain things that are, your biology is always going to trump your conscious mind. So the first one is your sleep alarms. Okay, almost everybody has an alarm to wake them up in the morning. Hardly anybody has an alarm that goes off that tells them to go to bed. Okay, and then one of the best things that you can do when you're having all this unstructured time that you can do whatever you want is to wake up at the same time that you were going to wake up and go to bed at the same time that you were going to go to bed. If our bodies are basically set up to go to bed at 10 and wake up at 6. So if you have an alarm that goes off at 9:30 that says, hey, it's time to go to bed every single night, and then you have an alarm that wakes you up at 6 p.m., or at 6 a.m., my bad, that's probably going to be a very good thing. So have a sleep alarm. The other thing is just structure your day. Have a planner. I wish I would have grabbed mine to show you, but the night before, I structure out my entire day down to the half hour for what I'm going to do that next day, so that I know what's going on. I have a game plan going on for what's gonna happen. Do I always stick to that? No. But at least I have the beginnings of a plan. I don't have nothing. I'm just like, oh, what do I do today? I don't do that. Okay, so I at least have plan A. Okay, if I have plan A, I'm better. It's better than no plan at all. Okay, so plan the day the night before. The third thing is food. Keep it structured. Breakfast, lunch, dinner is very, very simple. It's worked very, very well for a lot of people for a very long time. If you're wondering what to eat for breakfast, eat a high-fat, high-protein breakfast. It's going to be a lot better for you than a lot of carbs. Anything to do to keep yourself sane right now is going to be a very good thing. And if you can decrease your digestive stress, you're going to be a lot better off. So food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, in a time where we're probably not near as active as what we were before, which is kind of sad to think. And I even kind of hate that don't like it that I'm saying this, but a higher fat, higher protein diet is probably going to go better right now for most people than what I would have said 3 weeks ago. But also have 3 targets every single day. There's a lot of things that we can take advantage of right now rather than just sitting around and being bored. You know, the saying that only boring people get bored. Well, I don't know if that's accurate, but there's a lot of things that you can do right now. You can focus on self-care, you can focus on your exercise, you can focus on nutrition, you can set up your house, you can, Rach and I were talking last night, and we were like, I tend to go to math when I think of things, and we were talking about how many meals that we'll share in our life. And I was like, well, I'm 35 now. That probably means I have, let's say, 50 years left, and we're going to do 2 meals a day. And let's say that we do 350, we said 350 because it was easier to do the math with that. So 350, and then we took that. Anyway, we came out, I forget what it was now, just off the top of my head. I did the math a lot faster than I wasn't on a live video doing this. But it was basically, I think it was 35,000 meals that we're going to spend together. And if you're going to do something 35,000 times, you better get it right. And the sooner that you get it right, the better. So that if you can get it right now, during a time where we have the ability to do that because you have the time, then you should do it. So this is a great time to have the hard conversations with your kids, your significant other, or your friends that you might normally not have had time time for. Okay, but have 3 targets. Put those targets down and make them non-negotiable. You're going to get those done. You're not going to go to bed until those targets are done. So this means that they have to be real, they have to be attainable, they have to be tangible, and you can set action steps behind each one of them. So have 3 targets every day. You're going to hit those. And don't put obstacles in the way of getting those things done. The other thing is, the 5th thing is to practice gratitude on some level, AM and PM. There's plenty of research behind this. If you want to go and look it up, you can. But the psychological research around practicing gratitude in the morning and at night is profound. I mean, it's kind of insane just how far-reaching this stuff really is. And from a mental health standpoint, you cannot not pay attention to your brain right now, because like for instance, nobody should be watching The Shining at this point in time, because everybody's in isolation. You see what I mean? We're doing everything we can at Grit to try to create things, create a medium so that our clients can actually come to that space to interact with everybody. So that they can hang out with their pals, so they can have different conversations than just with their kids and their spouse, or their siblings, or whoever are around them in the house, right? We're trying to create this space, and in a digital medium like this right now, we can, but you can't talk back at me. So that's a little bit of a problem. So we want to be able to reach out and be able to do that with everybody there. But practicing gratitude is going to be a big deal for mental health. Okay, workouts. You can still get your workouts in. This is a very good time to actually get a workout in. You can do 2 10-minute walks per day. I see that it's snowing outside right now. That's actually a great time. Like, contrary to popular belief, when it's snowing is usually when it's not as cold. Well, it's cold, but it's not like blisteringly cold. So you can go out and get a walk, and it's kind of nice to walk in the snow. 2 10-minute walks per day will do your spine a world of good. And over at Grit Gym, if you want to get signed up with the personal training side of things, you can. And we actually just added a new segment to it so that it's a little bit, so there's 2 different tiers. There was always just like the higher price personal training side, and actually we just added another tier lower than that. And if you're interested in getting signed up for that, dial 319-855-7768, and we will get you taken care of. But you can do 3 strength. You should aim for at least 3 strength training sessions per week and 2 10-minute walks per day, and that will be a very, very, very good thing for your body and your brain and everything else. The other thing that you can do is to begin some kind of meditation. Meditation doesn't have to be complicated. What I do is I put headphones in that play brown noise. Brown noise is more of a and white noise is more of a so it's more of a hiss, and I like it a lot better. So brown noise, headphones, I set a timer for 15 minutes and I go. And I just try to practice focusing on my breathing. And most people think that meditation is like this zenned out, you get so relaxed. No, like when you first start doing meditation, you just feel like you're doing it wrong because your brain is going all over the place and you don't know what to do because you're like, I'm no good at this. Well, nobody's good at anything when they first start. And the point isn't to be great at meditation. The point is to practice focusing back to your breath. So you're practicing focus so that when you come out of the meditation, you can focus on whatever you want. Or that's one of the benefits. But the actual brain changes that happen with meditation are insane. So this is one more thing that you can do to help with your brain. Jana says, we built our schedule for next week. Working out as a family is a non-negotiable. Thanks for continuing to inspire us. Thanks, Jana. Okay, so I meant to say this at the beginning, but these are some books and some movies that might be of benefit to you guys that you might like. These are sleepers. I typically don't. I typically really, really like kind of B-level movies. So if you hate these, well, too bad. But The Man from Snowy River is a sleeper. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It came out probably in the late 80s. It is an awesome, awesome, awesome movie. Man from Snowy River. I don't know who directed it. Also, in recent years, there's been a movie called Safety Not Guaranteed. It has Aubrey Plaza in it and the Nick from New Girl, that show. Anyway, it is phenomenal, but it didn't get big. It didn't blow up, but it's this awesome, phenomenal, really good feels movie. I couldn't believe how good it was. So Safety Not Guaranteed is one that you can watch with, I'm pretty sure you can watch it with your whole family. I don't think there's too much in there, but don't quote me on that. If you watch it with your little kids and you're like, Adam, what were you thinking? Well, I forgot that there were bad parts in it, but I don't think there are. Third movie, Awakenings. It's a movie with Robin Williams and Robert De Niro. It is phenomenal. It is one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's one of those movies that Anyway, I'll let you watch it, but it's a phenomenal movie. Movies to stay away from: The Shining. Stay away from The Shining right now. Nobody needs to watch that. Okay, books. Atlas Shrugged was one of the by Ayn Rand, was a phenomenal book. It takes quite a bit to read. It's a real heavy thinker, and it's a very objective book. Like she really encourages you to be an individual, to be an independent thinker, and to think objectively, which is probably a really good thing right now. Definitely Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, AYNRAND. Phenomenal book. Man in Search of Meaning by Viktor Frankl is another book that this is one that I just think get to this book as fast as you possibly can. Read this book. It is life-changing. It is one of those books that, like, once you read it, you'll be like, why hasn't everybody in the world read this book? Like, almost why doesn't this just required for humanity to read this book? It's a phenomenal book. Man in Search of Meaning by Viktor Frankl. And this last one will sound kind of weird because it has an odd title, but I will say I reread this book every year, and everybody calls it the best business book of all time. I don't think it's a business book at all. I think it's a how to communicate with people book and how to actually treat people book and just how to be a good human being. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. It sounds like it has kind of a manipulative title, but it's by Dale Carnegie, and everybody's like, it's the best sales book. It's the best business book. It's a people book. It's just, I wish that somebody would have handed it to me when I was in junior high, and I maybe would have had better relationships through high school and college. But I think it's one, like, read it in junior high. You should read it before you go to college. You should read it when you get out of college. I reread it every single March. So I can't tell you how many times I've read it. I should have grabbed these books and just shown you, because that book's like old and ratty and gross. But those are three books that you can try out: Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, Man in Search of Meaning by Viktor Frankl, and How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And a book to stay away from, Catcher in the Rye. And not that it's bad, just in our time right now, you probably don't need to be reading that book. If a book, I think it's like 3, 4, 5 people that were like murderers said that while anyway, they blamed that book for the murder. It's a wild book though. Later, after all this is over, go ahead and pick up Catcher in the Rye. But movies: Man from Snowy River, it's so good. Safety Not Guaranteed, phenomenal sleeper, and Awakenings is just a great movie to watch. But if you guys are looking for some things, I hope this video helps. And I literally have hundreds of these. We made a product called the 100 Ways to Stay Focused a few years ago. We've never really promoted it very much. It's just kind of been sitting there. And now I really wish I would have hammered on it, because we could have, it's kind of silly for me to not put this out, but it's 125 different videos and things that I do to keep focused. Because I mean, when you have somebody that's just as insanely creative and nutty as me, just like all the time, I have had to found ways to get myself to focus in on the things. So anyway, if you're interested, go ahead and comment below. Tell me how you guys are doing, but I hope this helps. If you get these 7 into your life, and these are only 7, there's a lot more, but if you get these 7 into your life, the alarm that tells you to go to bed, waking up at the same time, structuring your day by planning the night before, having breakfast, lunch, dinner at the same time every single day, setting 3 targets per day so you have something to aim for. Because the thing is, if you don't have anything to aim for, congratulations, you hit the target. And who knows what that's going to be? Do you want to have the life that you were just kind of bound to end up with, or do you want to have the life that you actually want to have? And that takes a lot of guts to go for. And then practicing gratitude in the morning and in the evening, just thinking of a couple things that, I'm grateful that I'm not outside in the cold right now. I'm grateful that we have warm water. I'm grateful that I'm able to come and talk to you through Wi-Fi. What are you grateful for? And get 2 10-minute walks in per day. That's going to do you a world of good. Get at least 3 strength training exercise, like at least 30 minutes of strength training in 3 times per week. And then this is a great time to practice some meditation. Just sit. Try to breathe into your hips, like push your air down towards your pelvis, and you're going to be terrible at it. It's fine. That's kind of the point. You're not supposed to be great when you first start anything. It's the act of that makes us better, and the physical changes of the brain that happen when we look at brain scans after somebody has meditated for 6 to 12 weeks are staggering. If you're curious, you can look that up. But anyway, if we can help you out, give us a dial. It's 319-855-7768. Thanks, guys. Talk soon.